Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new around here. My name is Ashley and I go by the Ashleyness here. Today we are playing Planet Zoo and this is my Esme zoo, and we are going to be building a mandrill habitat today. This zoo has come around. It is crazy, it's beautiful, it's lush, and it is almost done for our primates area. We have this one and one more for our chimpanzees to create before we move on to birds in our bird sanctuary. Now this habitat is located right next door to our Japanese macaque, which is the ones we did in our previous episode. So if you haven't seen that one, go ahead and check it out. It's really pretty. But this is where we are located in the zoo, is way back here in this corner. And it's going to be up against the back area or the front area of our big cat sanctuary. Now these are photos that I took inspiration from. Lots of rocks, lots of water, and not very dense, but I did make mine very dense. I just can't help myself for the foliage. So this was my inspiration from the internet. So we're gonna just jump straight on in and get going on it. We're going to go ahead and delete these walls. This is gonna be a pretty large habitat, but it doesn't take very long at all. So we are going to focus on making the moat first. And we're just gonna work on that really quickly. It does not take long at all. This whole build does not take long, I promise. So yeah, so I wanted them to be able to access the water if they wanted it, but or swim in it, which it turns out they don't access it at all. But it does stop them from jumping out of the enclosure. And I just hear them doing a little terrain, to make sure that there's no grass poking through our beautiful little stonework path, which will bring the guests right off of that main path and into the area. And I did kind of fuss with the barrier here for a little bit. It took me a couple seconds to figure out what I wanted to do. I ended up doing two different sizes here, and I made it do two different colors because I saw in a video online from somebody else, I can't remember who, where they made the moat and then they made the barrier, and they multicolored it so that it looked like it had a water line, and I really thought that was clever, and so I did that too. That's what these videos are about, right? It's for inspiration, and this is, it's inspiring, watching people play and build and create, and it's awesome. So here we're just making our little area here, and it's really cool because what you do is you just copy paste it after you make it what you want. So I added these little spikes to kind of discourage climbing. At least that was my goal or my thought process in it. It kind of gave a neat little detail along the line there. And then I go ahead and look for a fence. I do this mesh on the top to make it fenced in, looking at the top so guests do not fall in or are tempted to go through. It is far away from the path, so they shouldn't even get that close at all. But guests do crazy things sometimes. And in case the mandrills do decide to get out or try to climb and they do manage to get through, then there's that extra little barrier there. So we're just copy pasting and going all the way through and going around the edges here. And yeah, it's poking through a little bit, but I do fix it. So just hang tight. I promise it works out. So now that that's done, we're just gonna go ahead and redo the terrain a little bit to make it where they can get down there. So you kind of want it to where, one, they can get down to the water if they so chose to, but also too, if they were to fall into this moat, that they would not be trapped and drown. So they need to be able to climb back out. So that's also why that's tiered the way it is. And then here I'm just trying to make it look a little less crazy looking, but then it kind of pooches through here again, and so it all works out in the end. It always does, doesn't it? Somehow it always works out. So yeah, just doing a little terrain work. That one little bit just refused to go, so it just, sometimes you just have to be like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. Oh, So here I'm going to grab those, and that's the tippy tap of my pet. My Bella puppy. She's not a puppy, she's like 4 years old, but she's got loud toes. Anyway, I'm just adjusting the door here a little bit. And then I'm making the wall barrier here, which will be the backing of the walls for this cat sanctuary area, I believe. I don't know, I haven't planned that far ahead yet. I still have to go through and make plans for the enclosures where they're all going to lay out, in the cat sanctuary and the bird sanctuary. But the cat one is going to be after the bird one. And then after that, we're going to do bears, sanctuary, and so on and so forth. So this zoo has the potential just to continue on and on and on and on. As long as space is provided, we can keep going. So I really hope you're enjoying this series. I certainly am. I'm finding it to be a lot of fun and very inspiring. And I am going to try to change the look up a little bit in the next set so that it's a little less repetitive on like the scenery. But I do need it to also be still cohesive with the rest of the zoo, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense to have a completely different area. But I'm thinking for like the birds, instead of being so lush and tropical and thick, you know, with foliage that is going to be more like grasslandy, like almost more like what am I trying to say? I want to say like Everglades, but that's not it. Kind of like, you know, just like, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but just like fields with like water and stuff like that. But I don't know, you'll see. Stick with me, I promise. It makes sense in my head, I just can't spit it out. Do you ever have those days? I do. A lot. And evidently today's one of those days. So anyway, we're just doing my favorite thing ever, the rock work. I love doing it. It's so much fun. I go a little crazy as always, but it does just turn out beautiful. I'm just going all the way around so it makes sense and looks pretty. And then I had to kind of make a choice, and I did end up not making it the way the pictures made it, because like I could have made it like really barren like in the pictures, and I'm not really sure if that's what Mandrill's like, but I decided to go lush to give them privacy with the foliage. And so anyways, we're gonna do this real quick. We're just gonna add some more dirt. Just to give it some more depth. Give a little more grass. And then I remembered I didn't make a spot for the gate. So I had to go back and make a spot for the gate to go in, because otherwise how on earth are the keepers getting in here? And then here we're going to do the knoll barrier all the way around as usual. I do recommend doing the knoll barrier and making your own walls for various reasons. One of which is that, I mean, you're making your own walls just look so much better than usual walls, like that are the fencing that comes with it. The other bit is that the, here, my other dog coming now, is that if you're playing like franchise mode or challenge mode where you're worried about money, you have to repair the walls, the fences and barriers and things with your mechanics, which can be really challenging, especially when you have a super big zoo like we've got going on right now. You almost would have to have just a whole bunch of management, like what are they called again? Oh my gosh, I just said it. I'm losing my words again. Anyway, the mechanic. I knew it started with an M. So you'd have to have a whole bunch of them to make it work. And, you know, the knoll barrier does not disintegrate. And so if you don't have to use it and you use your bits and pieces instead, then it looks better and it doesn't break down on you, which means you don't have to worry about escaping animals if you've done everything else properly. So here we have a whole troop of mandrills coming in. And I did realize afterward, and it takes a long time for them to show up. I'm not really sure what happened. I think I just simply forgot to turn up the speed of the game. It just took a really long time. So while I waited, I kind of got distracted. I saw these guys all running and I thought somebody had escaped for a minute, but they're all racing off to the Japanese macaque, which is where I'm like, where'd you go? But yeah. So, and then I grabbed their sign, and so I can use it over here with the mandrills, and just put it to none so nobody's confused and I'm not getting any warnings saying it's too far from enclosure or whatever. So, and then everybody was complaining about the prices being too low, and so I upped that a couple times. And then I just started decorating here. Now it's really funny because this is just one speed, right? This isn't like full speed, so everybody's moving quickly in the game. I also updated my computer, thanks to my husband, because he is fantastic with computers. And he updated my computer to where I have more RAM, more memory, and so it's like, now it's just so smooth. It's ridiculous. Because my game was getting real laggy there, if you hadn't noticed. It was like, oh boy. So I was a little concerned I was going to have to shut things down, or like get rid of all my guests, or something. I didn't know what I was going to have to do, or ditch the zoo, which I would have broke my heart. But luckily my husband was able to upgrade it, and so now it's moving smoothly and beautifully, and I'm not having any issues yet. I hope to not have issues. I played a couple of video games with their heavy hitters, you know, and this one's definitely kind of heavy on the system for the computer, and it's an older computer too. So anyway, enough about that. Back to the build. We are making a waterfall scenery here, as you can see. I'm making this little space here just looked a little too empty to me, and so I decided to jump in there and make it not empty. And I thought it looked really cool, actually, because it's like you're going behind this waterfall to go see the mandrills, and I just thought that was really neat. Anyway, here I was checking on them because I was like, why is it taking so long? And like there was like, oh, you finally coming, you know, over, and it was like, where's the rest? I thought I missed them. But anyway, here we go. We got this one in here. Finally, I was able to see if they could escape. And then it had outsider, which I was surprised because I wasn't aware that I had gotten 2 males. I thought I only grabbed 1, but you know, mistakes happen. So I ended up checking their genes. I can't say the other word. And making sure that they, which one was the better one genetically. Haha. So that we can make sure that everybody's doing good. That's my dog trying to jump up on the chair. Oh boy. You may see her in the background. Sorry for the tippity taps. Oh, my dogs are so annoying sometimes. I love them in pieces though. Okay, she made it. No more tippity taps. She's my older girl. She's 7, so she's a little achy on the jumping. So poor thing. Anyway, back to the build. I'm very distracted today. So we are working on the inside here. I've done a bunch of enrichment on the outside. Now I'm doing our like little nesting spots so that they can sleep. And then just like giving them their toys. I like to do the ones that don't look quite so natural for toys inside the building so that it's kind of more natural on the outside. Of course, you can't always do that because sometimes they just don't have very many toys to play with. Like I don't usually put the piano outside because I feel like it's like silly looking. It's cool. It's a cool toy, but it's silly looking. And so here I do their climbing trees, and this is where it gets really lush because they were fine with how it was, but I was not okay in my brain. I needed it more. And then these were inaccessible, so I had to fuss with them a little bit to make them accessible. And then here I was making sure to get those sticks in there because I still have issues with that, you guys. Like if I don't do the sticks inside the trees, they can't climb it. Which is annoying. I don't know if you have the same problem. Do let me know. I would like to hear from you guys. Nobody's ever told me if they have the same issue or not. So maybe you're gonna be the first one. I hope so, because I'm curious. I'm a very curious person, if you haven't noticed. So here I'm just adding some more greenery down here, just to make it look a little nicer. We've already got the crowds coming in. They're just loving this area. And to be honest, yes, the view is a little far, and they are a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be, and the enclosure is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. But the idea of this zoo is like it's like a sanctuary situation, and so, you know, they shouldn't be always on display. I have tried to give them massive privacy to all of my animals, so they have the choice on being on display with the people or not. And so, you know what? Maybe these guys are the same in that situation where they, and you'll see, it's going to get way more lush. This is just the beginning. You know, they have the ability to stay away from the crowds if they want to, and they have the ability to come down on those rocks if they want to also. And they're just moving around, and as you can see, I'm actually able to have it on play mode, live mode while I'm building, and that's thanks to my new upgraded computer. So excited. Literally yesterday it got upgraded, so it's really exciting for me. I was like, I need help with my computer, and he's like, I got you. It's really cool. Anyway, we're just doing the greenery. Like I said, it becomes super, super lush and green really, really, really fast. And we are coming at the end of the video now, believe it or not. We're just doing a little decorating outside of the enclosure. Now the enclosure itself is done. It's done at this point. They're happy, hunky-dory, and it looks beautiful, and so we're just decorating here now. Yeah. Making sure the signs are lined up, all the good stuff. So, as always, I'm going to ask you to please, like, subscribe, and comment if you can. I know you're busy. I get it. I'm a busy person too. And it's just, it'd be so great to hear from you. I really appreciate it. Even just the little things, like, I hear like, oh, great job, or nice, or stuff like that, and it just like, makes me feel so good. Makes me feel like I'm on the right path. Anyway, we are at the end now. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Please stick around. The next couple ones are going to be fantastic, I hope. I have one big plan coming up. It's going to be lucky number 13, episode number 13. And so please stick around. It's going to be fantastic. In my head, it's fantastic. I believe it's going to be fantastic. Anyways, thank you again. I hope you have a beautiful day, night, or whatever time it was for you, is for you. And most of all, I hope you were inspired. Bye.